Uh, Jonathan, what you doing?
Shan, I told you I have the gift of music. I'm just perfecting my craft before we interview a fellow musician.
Maybe you should have started a little earlier. You're going to need a lot more practice, my friend. But our guest might be able to help point you in the right direction because he is truly a professional. Now, today we're talking with Dr. Mark Cramer, Associate Professor of Clarinet in the Tennessee Tech University School of Music and Principal Clarinetist in the Bryan Symphony Orchestra. He also is a studio recording artist with the Nashville Scoring Orchestra, where he records soundtracks to television shows, movies, and, listen to this, video games.
Hello. Thanks for having me. All fun and giggles today.
Dr. Cramer, we're having a great time.
You make
Welcome.
me sound so fancy.
You are fancy.
Cookville fancy, right?
Now, Dr. Cramer, we interview so many people on this show that have spent their whole lives in Cookville, but we love talking to people like you because you chose this community. You've been here in Tennessee's College Town since 2018, but you're a Michigan native who has worked and attended school in Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia. You are a world traveler. Can you tell us about what first drew you to Tennessee Tech and then to Cookville?
Well, I'd like to say I chose Cookville, but I would say Cookville chose me. I teach clarinet and woodwind methods and play with the Bryan Symphony and the Cumberland Quintet and do a lot of service work for Tennessee Tech University.
Well, Cookville has very good taste in people. I'm going to say that. They chose wisely.
Thank you. I have a little hair pump there. And well, I'm sure you know, working in the arts is super competitive. And the year that I landed this job, there were only 3 tenure track jobs in the United States. So I was a very, very, very lucky individual to get this position.
Or very, very talented.
Well, maybe a little bit of both, but I really think the universe has put me where I need to be, and it's been a really great fit for me, and it's been great to plant some roots and get established in the area.
Well, when you talk about getting established in the area, one of the ways that you've done that is with the Bryan Symphony Orchestra. So like we mentioned in the introduction, you are the principal clarinetist for the BSO, as we call it, and we're the faculty representative on the orchestra board for more than a year. And you and I had a chance to serve together on that board, and you were really impactful, helped form the artistic advisory committee. And I just got a little glimpse of all of the work and time and effort that goes into it for these professional musicians that are part of the symphony. The BSO is now in its 62nd season here in Cookville, and it's a wonderful partnership between the Tennessee Tech School of Music and the nonprofit Bryan Symphony Orchestra Association. What do you see as the value of having a professional symphony right here in Cookville, and what would you want listeners to know about the BSO?
I think the number one thing that's great is we're bringing high art to the Upper Cumberland, and patrons don't have to drive as far as Nashville, Knoxville, or Chattanooga to hear really great classical music. It's right in their backyard. I think another thing that's really great that a lot of people don't know is we partially function as a training orchestra for our students at Tennessee Tech. So the way that the organization works is we have sectionals on Mondays and Wednesdays with the faculty who are the principal musicians of of all the wind chairs in the orchestra. And then by audition, our second position instrumentalists are our top students. So they basically win an audition. They play second to their teacher, who has also done kind of an audition in their interview at Tennessee Tech when those job opportunities open up. And then all of our string players are Nashville Scoring Orchestra, Nashville Symphony, Chattanooga, Knoxville, even Huntsville Symphony players. And we put all this together with a full orchestra on a Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon we put on a show, and we're usually pretty exhausted because we've been rehearsing all morning. But I think it's a really great thing for people to know that our students are also up on that stage. And it's a really good recruiting opportunity for the university because it's a super unique thing that we have. There's only 1 or 2 other schools I can think of in the entire United States that have something that operates like this.
It's such a value add for the community here, and it's my understanding that it is one of the only, if not the only, professional symphonies outside of an urban center in the state of Tennessee. And I know that they just kicked off their ticketed season, and you all had the free concert at Dogwood Park to start the season, which is such a fun community event. But it's really an asset to our community here.
We have a lot of fun doing it, and for me as a teacher and a performer, when I was in my studies in school, I had a difficult time deciding, do I want to teach or do I want to perform? So this position is kind of melded both of those passions. And I didn't have to make a choice. So I get to do a lot of the things that I love and really not get burnt out on it, because when I, am a little bit tired from teaching, I can put on my performer hat and do that.
Variety in a role is a really nice balance in your work. I love how you talked about the students coming on board with the orchestra, and basically just like when anyone is hired into an orchestra, you're trying to achieve first chair?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so you have that climb up the ladder process with your students, which makes them know what it's going to be like if they pursue a career in performance art. I think that is that will make that feel very natural to them. To go through.
Absolutely. And what's really unique about Bryan Symphony is our students are getting to play the great standard rep and Western art music and at a professional level. So when they go off to grad school or go out into the professional world, they already have a leg up on their competition because they've gotten to do it in Bryan Fine Arts Building, which is really, really great. And it's also another teaching opportunity for me, because I get to kind of take a student under my wing and go over things like orchestra protocol and rehearsal etiquette and things like that. Things that a student might not necessarily get that instruction. They just kind of get thrown into deep water and have to learn how to swim.
Well, I love Bryan Symphony Orchestra. We've interviewed several that either have a part in it, being on the board and working that side, or working directly with the organization. But I love that there are ticketed events and there are also free community events to expose our community to the arts musically. And I have a deep love for classical music, so it's my wheelhouse of interest anyway. But you guys recently did a concert that was amazing. But I want to get back to you. We've talked so much about what we love about BSO, but as a professional musician, this is my favorite question because I can't wait to hear your answer. Your work has appeared in some surprising places. We mentioned earlier that you're part of an orchestra that has recorded soundtracks for television shows, movies, and my most interesting question, video games. And I'm told that your talents have even been heard at a certain amusement park in Orlando, Florida. So where is the most surprising or meaningful place that your music has appeared so far? And how did you first get connected with such an extraordinary opportunity?
Well, I think one thing that people don't know is, in order to be marketable, it's more than just being good at your craft. It's being a good networker, being a nice person. That's really, really important. That's something I definitely want my students to know, is being a nice guy is, like, above all, the number one thing.
Leave your ego at the door.
Absolutely, absolutely. And luckily, living in this area, being so close to Music City, your name gets out pretty quickly. And with a need for clarinetists in the area, I started playing with the Nashville Symphony as a sub. And from that, it went pretty well. They thought I sounded really good. So then that clarinetist gave my name to someone else, who gave my name to someone else. And then before I knew it, I was getting calls from the contractor who does the Nashville Scoring Orchestra.
Wow.
Where we do things for, like you said, Disney, which I can't say when I'm doing the project, but after the project's published, I can talk about it. So I can talk about these things now. And lots of video games. I'm recording an Apple Plus movie next week. I think probably there's two things I can think of that I've done, and I've done so many different recordings that I don't remember. And some of them are really small little things, like it might be like a prescription medication commercial, or it might be something big like on HBO Max. But I think the thing that was kind of gave me chills is I went to Disney World a few years ago and went to the Finding Nemo live musical. And I actually could hear myself in the soundtrack.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was playing bass clarinet in that track, and it's when the Stingray character has his like moment, and so the bass clarinet is the Stingray, and it was really the first time where I could really hear myself in that, which was really neat. And then I also got to record the Phantasmic water fireworks show that's at is it not Universal Studios? It's the Hollywood Studios that's the other park in Orlando, and then also the Epcot fireworks show.
Oh my goodness!
Which is really really cool. So those are two things that. I guess three things that were really like, oh my gosh.
Well,
like,
no wonder
I've made it.
You never get burnt out in your job because you have so many interesting things, and apparently you're very, very busy.
Yeah, I'm very busy. I've also developed nerves of steel because it's high pressure. I think a lot of people don't realize I don't get this music ahead of time. I go in there, the red light turns on, and then I go and I'm sight reading. So you have to have really good sight reading abilities, play crazy in tune, be very, very accurate, and be able to get it in one or two takes.
Gracious.
So, yeah, it's a lot.
Well, you talk about being busy, and I think part of the reason you're so busy is because you have spent a lot of time giving back and volunteering, serving the community where you live. And something that I learned recently about you when preparing for this interview is you've done some truly innovative work around music therapy. And when you resided in North Carolina, you had a partnership with the local hospital where you performed weekly outreach concerts and classes for patients, which I think is so neat. You on your website, it talks about how you really believe in the healing power of music, and I totally get that. And I feel like most of us have lived that and experienced that, where if you're going through a difficult time, there's maybe a song that has really lifted you. Can you tell us more about that project?
Yeah, when I was a grad student at UNC Greensboro, I graduated in 2015 with my doctorate, and then after that, I decided to kind of set up base for a while until I landed this job at Tennessee Tech. So I moved to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, which is only about 30 minutes from Greensboro, and I worked in the Arts and Health program at Wake Forest Baptist Hospital. And on Tuesdays every week, I would play outreach concerts for patients receiving chemotherapy treatment. And so I played in this big atrium. And it's a gorgeous facility, and it's multi-level, probably 10 levels, big atrium where the patients, when they're receiving their medication, could be wheeled out in a wheelchair, and I could play for them. I would try to mix up the music between maybe reflective or somber things, and not try to be too much of a Debbie Downer, and then also more cheerful things, some like Irish jigs and things like that. And I got to know some patients throughout their treatments, and I got to see some people get a lot better and some people unfortunately get a lot worse. And I had some really great interactions with people that said that that my performances every week were what got them through their treatment, and it was really meaningful and really kind of therapeutic to me in a way. Yeah.
Well, when you don't feel well, having something to look forward to is very, very important.
Absolutely.
And that is, I appreciate that particular mission and ministry. That is lovely. Now, it's not hard to tell that you are someone who is devoted to your work and your students, and obviously giving back to the community everywhere you can. But, you've lived a lot of different places. Let's talk about life outside the classroom and outside the recording studio. You love to travel. You have been to Japan. You have been to Iceland within the last year. What else can you tell us about life with you after the workday ends?
Oh, man. Well, luckily, living here, there's a lot of hiking and physical activity that I can do. So I'm very active in that. I don't live too far from Burgess Falls and
love it,
and Window Cliff. So I'm there quite often. I really am into physical fitness. I used to be a personal trainer and fitness instructor.
Wow.
Actually, when I got this job, I was also working as a personal trainer and doing group fitness, the insanity classes through Beachbody. I used to do that a lot. I don't have the time anymore. let's see, what else do I do? I've got, I'm married. My husband, Andrew, is a flight attendant for Southwest Airlines. And I've got 2 dogs, Dixie, who's a Beagle Puggle mix, and then Bungie, who's a Boston Terrier.
So this is working out nicely that you love to travel.
Yep.
And that's giving you an additional opportunity to
Yep.
make it more affordable.
Right. Yes. Yeah. There are a lot of great perks being married to a flight attendant, and either free flights or very reduced rate. So we flew to Japan for crazy cheap. I think we got our tickets for like $700 round
wow.
trip, which was really amazing.
Yes.
And that was a dream come true, top 5 bucket list kind of vacation. It was 2 weeks, and we went to several cities in Japan. And actually, our good friend Kanako, who is married to one of the voice faculty at Tech, she is native of Japan, and she was kind of our tour guide.
Oh, it's the best when you have someone who knows all about the excursion you're going
Yes,
to. if
and
you've
could
never been
communicate.
there.
I don't know like a lick of Japanese. Unfortunately, I tried, but I just
Google Translator cannot help you enough.
Yeah, and then recently I performed in Iceland, and just a year before I performed in Ireland.
Wow.
So I've been kind of in that region a lot recently. And then hopefully in this next year, if my proposal gets accepted, I'll be performing a couple world premieres of some pieces in Korea.
Okay, so you've already accomplished so much. Let's go back to younger you, looking at your life goals. What could possibly be left on the horizon for you that you haven't done?
I mean, what's not? I guess
You're just open to every opportunity.
yeah. Well, I'm a believer in the universe, and you think you have one plan destined for you, and then you meet these people, or you go to these cities, or have these experiences, and life just kind of opens up, and you end up in different places that you never thought you would be. If you asked me when I was 19 years old, like, would I be a college professor in Cookeville, Tennessee, of all places, I've been like, absolutely not. But it's totally worked out, and we've built such an amazing community of friends here. And not just a lot of my coworkers are not just coworkers; they're also my close friends who we're hanging out with on the
That's
weekends.
lovely.
But we've also been been invited into other people's houses and gotten to know all our friends' kids and see them grow up. So it's a really it's a unique place to teach, because you get a little bit of that big city feel because you're so close to a couple pretty big metropolitan areas, but then also we're getting that small town, very safe community vibe.
I love hearing you talk about how this has worked out for you, and it's also worked out really well for the School of Music having you here, because I was looking on our enrollment dashboard at Tennessee Tech before this interview, and if my math is right, which is a very big if, the School of Music at Tech has seen an 82% enrollment increase from 2021 to today. So I know part of that is kind of maybe the natural bounce back from COVID, but not every department has seen that kind of an increase over the last 4 years. So when you look at that, why do you think the School of Music at Tech is growing in this way? And what do you hear from students about why they are choosing Tech for a music education?
I think that's really twofold, or maybe even threefold kind of answer. I think the number one thing is we have, around that time is when our new department chair became was put into that role. His name's Dr. Colin Hill. He is innovative, super smart and sharp. He is an out-of-the-box thinker and very supportive of the faculty, and has allowed us to go out and accomplish everything that we've wanted to do and bring in these great students to Tech. I think another thing is I'm kind of a newer class of hires. I've been here now 8 years. A lot of people retired at one time. Most people were hired in like the mid 80s and then had 35-year careers. Even our tuba professor was here for like 55 years, which is incredible. And then they all retired together, and then a lot of us people were hired. So I think this just resurgence of energy of all these
fresh
new
ideas.
Yeah, a lot of new, so a lot of 30-something faculty now. So there's that, and I think that's just naturally built a larger program because we're out in the schools. There's some representative from Tennessee Tech School of Music or College of Fine Arts in some high school every week. either through the Cumberland Quintet, which I play in, or the Brass Arts Quintet, or the Faculty Jazz Ensemble. We also have events on campus that bring a lot of students on, and a lot of studies have said that students are more likely to enroll in your program if they actually come to the campus, and we have several really great events that bring them to town, and they can see, oh, what would life be like to be a student here?
Well, the proof is in the statistics. So whatever you're doing, that is the secret sauce for growth. Now, I've loved this interview, but it is time to wrap up with our final question. And we end each interview with the same question. How has Tennessee Tech impacted your life?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the thing that has surprised me the most is the relationships that I've built. There's a lot of collaboration within the department, be that with the quintet, with Bryan Symphony. The fact that a lot of the people I teach with are of similar age and mindset and have similar passions. And what's been really interesting is, especially with my colleagues who have kids, I've gotten to know other people through, I think it's natural for, you become friends with your kids' parents, or your kids' friends' parents, I guess is how you'd say it. And so I've gotten to know a lot of people in town that I wouldn't necessarily have met other than maybe at the grocery store. And so we've made some really great friendships with people that aren't in music.
I love that.
Which is really wonderful, because it's good to have that separation and, live life with other people that are just in a completely, different field.
Dr. Cramer, it is an honor to know you. Pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on College Town Talk today.
Thank you.
And for our listeners, if you're enjoying our show and hearing from incredible Tennessee Tech musicians like Dr. Mark Cramer, would you do us a favor and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get this podcast? It all helps to spread the word about the great things happening right here in Cookeville.
We'll meet you back here again next week for more conversations with the people who make Cookeville Tennessee's college town.
College Town Talk is presented by Tennessee Tech University in partnership with the Cookeville-Putnam County Visitors Bureau. Your hosts are Jonathan Frank and Shan Stout, and original music is performed by Andrew Buckner. Visit us online at tntech.edu/collegetowntalk.